Oh my god, the host just triple sat me.
You see who's food running tonight?
56 was just sitting there making out the entire time I was trying to take
Why do we have
order.
so many servers on the floor? Did you hear about 73?
This is a work of fiction. Any similarity to actual persons, living or dead, or actual events is purely coincidental.
Welcome back to Rolling Silverware. I'm Bunny.
I'm Kat.
And this is our post-shift shit talk.
Let's fucking get into it.
It has been a week. It was Veterans Day.
I wanted to die.
It was rough. I've also worked the last 6 days straight.
Oh yeah, I've done those.
So it was supposed to be 7, but I gave up yesterday because fuck that shit.
Mm-hmm.
But I have quite a few. Just kind of just wild guest stories this week. Like, I have just had some outrageous guests.
Yeah.
And like...
Yeah, same. Veterans Day was really bad, and I don't
know what the vibe of the restaurant was, and I feel like...
It was off. It was not good. It was rotten.
It
rotten
was
vibes.
Just sour. It was bad, and people were bad, and they made me feel bad, and I hated it. One thing that had happened, and I can say with absolute certainty that this has never before happened to me in my entire 14-year serving career.
Holy shit.
I'm in the kitchen, and I'm moving from the beverage station to the line to go run some food. And this woman walks in, and I'm thinking, oh, she walked into the kitchen. She's looking for the bathroom, right?
Right.
And she walks up, and she goes, hello? And I go, yeah, what's up? How can I help you? And she goes, it stinks. It stinks at my table. It stinks. And I was like, oh, okay. I'm kind of thinking, like, who'd you bring with you? Like, whose fault is this, right?
Right. Or is it another guest? Like, what are you telling me?
And so I go, well, where are you? Like, who are you? Where are you? What is happening right now? She's not my guest. She's not seated in my section. I know this for a fact.
Right.
And so she grabs me by my sleeve and starts pulling me out of the kitchen. We are standing many steps into the kitchen. We are nowhere near, like, where guests walk.
Right.
So she's like, you just come with me. You're like, it's the bread. The bread stinks. You have to come and smell this. And I'm like, what? What? You just said what to me?
To my face.
And she says, just come with me. And I go, where are you? And she's like, we're outside. And it just reeks. And so I'm like, okay. So I follow her outside, to which she immediately grabs the half loaf of bread that's at her table. It's a table of 6.
Mm-hmm.
And she just reaches over like 3 other people and grabs this bread and shoves it at me. And she's like, smell this. And I'm like, okay. So like I hold it up to my nose and I smell it. And it kind of smells like just burnt oil, like a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And the rest of the table is agreeing with her. They're like, oh my God, it smells so bad. Like, is it rotten? Like, what is it? And I'm like, okay, well, it's not, like, it's obviously not moldy bread.
It's just overdone a little bit. Relax.
It's overdone a little, and it probably got cooked, like, either above or below one of our more oily dishes, you know, or something else that was in the oven at the same time that kind of perfumed the bread.
Right.
And so I'm just like, oh, okay, yeah. And she goes, so can you get us some new bread? 100%. Like, I have 6 of my own tables to handle, but let me get right on this for you.
What a wild thing to walk into a restaurant kitchen to grab anybody.
Anybody.
The first person you find to shove bread in their face and say it stinks.
Dude,
get me
she
more.
held it so close to my nose that even if I didn't want to smell it, I was smelling it. Like, I didn't have a choice in this matter. I am now smelling bread in front of a table of 6.
That's
and I'm just
crazy.
like, yeah, like, I guess it smells like... It was like halfway between like stale and oil. Like I just smelled oil, you know? Not rotten oil, not like skunk smell or fucking anything. To which I have now food to run, and I had to make sure that this woman got her refill because that's what I was there doing when she grabbed me. Mm-hmm. So like for my own section. So I grabbed server manager and I was like, yo, can you run a brand new, preferably unburnt, you know, half of bread out to this table on the patio? And he goes, yeah, sure. And I go, no. She came and grabbed me and told me to smell her bread. And he goes, I'm sorry, what?
I'm sorry, repeat what the fuck you just said to me?
Smell my bread is now going to be a caption on a bumper sticker for me, maybe? Or possibly a t-shirt that I wear around. Like, do you remember that old video that was like, let me smell your dick or whatever? Like, I want to remix that as like, yo, come and smell my bread.
I still quote that
for
song.
Sure.
I loved it.
So
funny.
I just like literally, I have never been ripped away from my job by somebody so quickly. And it wasn't just like, can you get my server for me? It was, no, I need you to solve this problem.
Yeah,
and
that's
also,
wild.
I'm going to be perfectly honest with you. You were out on the patio. You guys couldn't fucking smell shit. Like, shut up. It's 7:30 at night. The wind is blowing. We have all of our shades down to, like, kind of keep it warm.
Yeah.
But no, like, it's not permeating the entire patio. Like, please calm down.
So dramatic.
Super dramatic. But the whole table was like in agreement over this. And so they're all tossing their partially eaten bread at me so that I can take all of it off the table. They don't just want me to take the remnants of what they hadn't put on their plates.
No, fucking
it was,
dramatic.
please take these pieces too and get them out of here.
They're smelling the air. Get the fuck out of here.
I'm sorry the patio's a little off tonight. Like, maybe somebody spilled oil earlier in the night. I don't fucking know.
Right.
I don't know. I wasn't here. What? It's such a wild guest interaction.
I had one point on Monday, Veterans Day again, where there was a party of 5 in one of my tables, and the 8,900-year-old lady sitting in the middle at seat 3. I'm getting drink orders, and I'm like, yeah, can I get you something to drink? And they're like, water, iced tea. And as I'm going through the list of, like, can I get you something to drink? She interrupts everybody. She's like, I want coffee.
Dope.
And I was like, okay, black or with cream and sugar? She goes, sugar, a little bit of cream. Cool.
So, yes.
So then I go back to, okay, what can I get you to drink? And then I skip over her, what can I get you to drink, right? And then I get to the end, and as I'm finishing, she goes, did you get my coffee?
Where are you? What?
I was like, yeah.
I'm gonna.
Yeah. No, she meant, like, did you get my order? Like, did you write it down?
Oh, I thought you meant, like, have you left and gone to get it yet? And I'm like,
she's just
because
off
I've
in
had
space.
that. I've had that. I mean, where are you?
No, I've had
Did
that
you
before.
just come back to the table right now? Because
No,
I've had that
haven't.
happen where a guy's been like, oh, I'll take, a bourbon on the rocks. And it's like, okay, dope. And then I get to the end of the party. He's like, yeah, and my bourbon? Yeah, guy, I'm still standing here.
I have had that happen before, but no, she meant, like, did I write down the order? Like, did I understand that she wanted coffee?
Yes, the way you shouted it at me, I caught that. Thank you.
I was literally like, I stopped everything I was saying to address you about this coffee. What made you think I didn't catch that?
Right.
I was like, whatever.
I remember
fine.
when I asked you the follow-up question to
Right.
coffee.
And then a little bit later, before entrees come down, she looks at me. I'm asking people, like, if they want refills, right? And, like, some of their drinks. And she looks at me and like, yells again as I'm asking people for the refills, I'd like more coffee. And I looked at her and I go, okay. And then
great.
I asked this person, do you want a refill? Da-da-da. And then somebody else at the table looks at me and goes, she wants a coffee.
Yeah, heard.
I
didn't know I had to tell my tables heard. I thought that was an in the kitchen thing.
I'm
gonna start telling my tables though.
I was like, yeah, I heard it.
Clocked that.
Yeah, and then immediately the bar top starts drowning. So I jump back, I ask her, do you want me to shag beers and wines? Let me help you really quick. So as I'm helping her get caught up, because she had ticket after ticket after ticket after ticket, and some of those were my tickets as well. So I was like, let me get this out, for my tables as well. I lock eyes with that woman. So she sees me behind the bar helping the bartender and, like, making drinks and stuff like that. Food comes out, drops down. Apparently, I didn't know this, but apparently within this moment, she asked the food runner, can you get me more coffee? Okay, fine. You see me, I'm not leaving the bar.
You're not doing it, so someone else is going to do it.
Okay, fine. Again, I didn't know that she had asked the food runner for that.
Right.
I head over to the table to do my 2-bite check. She looks me dead in the eyes and goes, yeah, my coffee?
Fucking A.
And I said...
This was the vibe of the whole night, by the way.
This
exact interaction was exactly how the entire fucking night went.
It was so awful, and I was just like, yeah, I'll be right back. I head to the kitchen, already angry that she is speaking to me the way she is. Like, to the point where, in my head, I was like, if she says one more thing to me, I don't know if I'm going to be able to stop myself from being like, did I say something to offend you? Like, why are you talking to me
have
like
I
this?
murdered your family member or your pet?
Right.
Can you please stop acting like
your goldfish in
front of you?
Yeah, like in the middle of your living room. Why the fuck are you talking to me like this? Like, I didn't know if I'd be able to stop myself from asking her, like, if I offended her and, like, why she was speaking to me that way, because of how rudely she had been speaking to me from the second she sat down. And then I go to the back and I'm just like, whatever, fuck this 100-year-old fucking bitch, whatever, fuck her, she's gonna die soon anyways. And food runner looks at me and he goes, oh, are you getting a coffee for 32? Because I'm making one right here. She already asked me for one. I flipped the fuck out.
Yeah, I was standing right there.
Yeah.
You were very much over that interaction.
I like slam the fucking coffee rack back into its spot, and I say, fuck this, and I walk out. And
to which he looked at me and he was like, I'm getting that coffee. I go, as you should. Thank you so much.
and then
I went to go check on you because I was like, shit's going down in her section as well as mine.
Yeah.
So
And I did go up to him later, immediately after coming back inside, and I was like, that had nothing to do with you. That bitch is just so rude, and she had already asked me for coffee. If she had already asked you for coffee, why is she again asking me for coffee?
Right.
I don't
How many
understand.
coffees do you want? Because you're about to get 6.
You know what?
Every time you
Next
asked me,
time-
I clocked it, so now you're getting 4 cups of coffee.
I should do that next time.
Yeah.
Just every single person that is like, oh, they asked me for that too. Like, no, get it.
Yeah.
Get it as well.
Get it as well. I want 7 iced teas at this table within 2 minutes, and I want them to deal with the, like,
The
look,
fallout of fucking
this
doing
is the
that.
consequences of my actions right in front of me as I have 5 fucking iced teas or ranch or whatever else people are calling out for to anyone who looks in their direction.
Yo, we gotta start
Absolutely.
unionizing the workplace.
Yeah,
and just
absolutely.
have everyone on board with doing that.
Yeah.
Like, no matter what.
Here's your 4 tartar sauces. Is this enough
Yes.
for you?
Yes.
And
We
then when
need to
they
start
say,
doing that.
oh, I already got it. Oh, I was confused because you asked me too.
Just be like, oh, weird, because you had asked
You
me
asked
for it. I'm
me,
so
and
sorry.
I went and got it immediately, like you would expect. What? In that?
So that was just my whole night, and then I ended up feeling really sick. I got a random sore throat and like fever by the end of the night.
Yeah, you were like cold sweats and all.
I was not doing too hot. I ended up going home early, and it was not the vibe. And then yesterday they got my shift covered for me, so that was nice. So I didn't have to work yesterday because I did not know if I was going to be feeling okay by that point. But I did wake up yesterday, still a little bit of a sore throat, but no fever. So I was like, okay, not COVID. Like
For sure. Yeah, great. I'll be okay.
I was like, oh, if I wake up with a fever the next morning, then I'm going to go have to buy a COVID test.
Sure.
And that's always, I'd rather buy a pregnancy test than a COVID test at this
At this point,
It's so
I've
uncomfortable.
taken enough. In that same vein, that same night, I had a guest. I had a 6 top, and 5 of them were here when I greet the table. And I was like, hey guys, can I get you started with anything to drink? Mm-hmm. To which the man at seat 3 of the 5 that are down, he says, I'll order when the rest of the party gets here. As though there's like 7 more people coming, but there's only 1. Like there's only 1 more person to come.
Right.
So I'm like, okay, great. So I get everybody else drinks. It was like iced teas, a hot tea, some waters, whatever. I get everybody else a drink. I don't even bring him a water because he has asked for nothing at this point, so I'm not going to get it for you.
Right.
And then I come up when the new person arrives, and she wants an iced tea, so I get it for her. And I kind of look at him, and he wants nothing to do with me, so I'm like, cool, I'm out of here. And then it's time to take the order. And I had asked, oh, does anybody want an appetizer? No appetizers. We're ready to order right now. Okay, great. So I start the order, from seat 1 on, and then he says, skip me, right? And I was like, man, you're really unsure of what you want tonight. So I skip over him, and I get the other 2 people in the party, right? Mm-hmm. Like, because there was 5 or 6 people at this table, that's it. And so I come back to him, and he's like, okay, I want this with, he's like, and I'm sorry, I didn't look at the sides. What are they?
No, that is one of my biggest pet peeves.
So this man says to me,
Don't have an open menu in front of you listing shit.
Well, he didn't. He had pushed his menu all the way over to the other side of the table at this point. But he goes, well, what kind of vegetables do you have? So I list off all of our vegetables, including the 2
just
premium.
Like 8, yeah.
Yeah, including the 2 premium vegetables. And he goes, well, I noticed you didn't list rice in that. Do you have any kind of rice? And in my head, I was like, not a vegetable, bro, but okay. And I was like, yeah, we have steamed white rice. Perfect, I'll take that. And a vegetable. And I go, okay.
Which one?
Which one do you want?
What do you want?
What do you want? That was that whole scene from The Notebook was my entire fucking night. Like I wanted to grab someone and shake them and just go, "What do you want? What? How can I make this more seamless for you?" So then he decides on zucchini. Great. Awesome. To which I look at him and I say, "Would you like something to drink now? Because now I'm putting in your food order. So are you ready for something to drink?" He goes, "Yeah, I'll take a wine." Awesome. I love this so much.
I'm having a great time, sir. How about you?
Please make me go through every step of every process. I love this. Okay, so then I look at him and I was like, sure, were you feeling like a red or maybe and I'm about to say white, obviously. Those are the 2 options.
Yeah, what else would you say?
And he says, a white. And I go, great. Possibly like a Chardonnay. And he cuts me off halfway through Chardonnay to wave me off with his hand and say, surprise me. And I went, awesome. Fucker got the sweetest white wine that we have.
Yeah, I was gonna say he's getting a Riesling, bitch.
Right. Well, I gave him the Pinot Grigio because that's to me the sweetest one that we have. Is that one Pinot Grigio that's like
the Riesling is pretty dry.
Right, and so it leans much more sweet. And it's like if you're not gonna give me the time of day to tell you, we don't have a house red and a house white. That's not how this place works.
We're not in Italy.
Right. We don't have 2 types of wine.
It's not
and
a
you
table
get,
red. Like
right.
So out of here.
Surprise you? Great. You're going to get the sweetest motherfucking wine we have. Because I bet that's not what you want. And at this point, I don't fucking care. So I wasn't there when the wine hit the table, unfortunately. But he did get through his meal and said nothing about the wine. He drank the whole glass. So I hope you liked it. I hope that's exactly what you wanted. Don't fucking do that again. When I told my boyfriend this story, he was like, so you brought him a red, right? Because he's like, surprise me, and you just bring him a red. And I was like...
Or the rosé.
Right.
That's white. Isn't it just like super stupid? I thought that was a white. It's listed as a white in my thing. I don't know.
It is, yeah.
I know, exactly.
And you didn't let me speak to you to tell you the 5 fucking types of whites that we have. But that would have been even funnier than giving him the sweetest wine. But in that moment, I was just like, no, fuck you.
You don't want to talk to him anymore at that point.
You have waved me off like a fly at your table. And I'm just like, awesome. I hate you.
Didn't you have a guest wave you off not that long ago that then came in and sat down with you again? Like she was on the phone with her bullshit kids and her cheesecake.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we have a follow-up.
I just finished editing this episode and I was like, wait, she had an update.
If you guys tune in, there was a woman who came in and she was on her phone the whole time. And it was this whole issue with how she just, like, didn't want to fucking talk to me. She wanted to be on her business call, but her kids were with her and her husband was joining her later, right? Mm. And they did that whole... at the end of it, she was finally off her phone and she had that whole cheesecake fiasco.
Yes.
With whether the crust on the cheesecake was crispy enough or not. To which, like, no, it's not. Like, we don't make that
we
here.
We have found that out when she ate the 2 granules of
yeah,
graham
the smallest little fucking bite of graham cracker crust. And she goes, it's soggy. Great! Why are you doing this to me? So anyways, they come back in and they're seated outside and it's just her and her husband. And so I go out and as soon as I walk out that door, I clock her and I'm like, oh fuck. And she looks at me and she goes, oh my God, it's you. Oh, you were so great last time. Oh my God, we loved it so much. Oh, we're so happy that we got you again.
Great.
And all I'm thinking is, I'm not. But okay. So this time went much more seamless. She was not on the phone at all. Mm-hmm. And so she orders her food, and after the food has come and before I bring the dessert menu, she's telling me that, well, how's your key lime pie? And so to which I told her, I said, well, we do make that one in-house every single day. Like, pretty much every day we are baking key lime pies. And
even if we did it every other day, I'm telling guests it's every day. I'm not telling guests, like, oh yeah, every 2 days. Like,
sure,
we bake
but
it every day.
Often we run out through the key lime. Like, it's a delicious. So that's what I told her. I said, if you like key lime pie, you will like ours. It is a very classic custard key lime pie. We use key lime juice. It is fantastic. It's one of the best key lime pies that I've ever had. If you like key lime pie, you will like it. And then I looked at her and I said, and the crust is fairly crispy. Because I wanted her to know that, like, yeah, I didn't forget.
I remember you.
What you put me through. They ended up getting, I think, the butter cake again.
Oh my God, she asked you about more desserts and then didn't even fucking get them?
Yeah, but we had this, because the thing is, her husband doesn't like anything tart. So he's not a tart fan.
Yeah. Why would you even ask about the key lime pie then at that point?
Right, but I made the point to be like, it's a crispier crust. Like, it's what you want if you want a crispy crust in this restaurant currently.
Yes.
And so I think they got the butter cake, and again, they left me a great tip, so awesome. I guess they're my new regulars. Fantastic.
Love that for you.
I'm so glad that they clocked me, and they were like, yeah. And this time they even were like, what's your name? And like, oh my God, you're so great. And it's like, thank you. Like, I appreciate that you're appreciating your time. Like, that's my whole job, right? And that's what I'm here for, and that's the point of all of this. But also, like, dear God, if she comes in next time and asks me, how's the chocolate cake? I'm just going to look at her and go, get the fucking butter cake. Get the butter cake and get the fuck out. Because I can't, you're just going to decide on the butter cake anyways, no matter what I bring you or what we talk about. You're going to get the butter cake anyways. Shut up. Stop it. So last night, it's the tail end of the night. We have sent the host home, so we don't have a host anymore. And the phone is ringing, so I go up to answer the phone. And this guy says, hey, yeah, I'd like to make a to-go order. And I go, fantastic. What can I get for you? And he's like, I want the lobster roll. And I go, perfect. Do you want the sushi roll or the sandwich? He goes, the sandwich. And I go, fantastic. We've got that 2 different ways. We've got it with butter or we've got it with the mayo. And he's like, I want the brown butter, baby. That's what he says over the phone. Okay. And I go, awesome. Can I get a name for that order? And he goes, yeah, Sergio. And I go, all right, Serge, what's a phone number?
You're just matching energy at this
Immediately.
point.
I'm like, let's go, Serge. What's the phone number? And then he gives me his phone number, and I go, cool. We could probably have that ready for you in like 10, 15 minutes. Like, that's a quick meal, right?
Yeah, super quick.
He also got a cup of clam chowder, so not a big deal. So super fast. And he's like, perfect. I live in the center where you work. So I'll be right over. And I went, great, give us 10. Like, give us 10 minutes. I can almost guarantee that there are no orders on the screen in the back.
Yeah.
I can almost promise you that this will be ready in 10 minutes or less. And he goes, that's fantastic. So I hang up the phone, and I tell server manager all about it, and he goes, this is why we don't have you on the phones. And I was like, now hold on. He started it.
And also, he probably loved the energy.
I want the brown butter, baby. And I'm just like, all right, Serge.
Yeah.
And if you want to argue it, I called him sir. What are you talking about? I said, okay, sir.
Fair.
If you heard Serge, that's weird. I didn't go there. I don't know you.
You just admitted on the fucking podcast.
I don't know nobody's listening. So
we have like 2 concurrent viewers, and it's your mom and our corporate.
That's it. So he comes in to get his order. I am not at the front. I am now closing everything down because it's the end of the night. Nobody has come in the restaurant. It's a wasteland. Like, we have 20 minutes to go, and nobody's in the restaurant at all. And so he comes in to pick up his order, and so server manager comes in. He's like, hey, your buddy Sergio's here, or Serge is here for his order. I go, oh, Serge! Oh, my God, I can't wait to see him. And he looks at me, and he goes, he is absolutely a Sergio. And I was like, what? So, of course, now I have to see, right?
Yeah, what are you talking about?
So, server manager takes the food up. I have bagged it all up, nice and neat. Everything's ready to go. All sauces, all accompaniments, everything's ready to go. Silverware and everything, or utensils, right? And so he walks up to the front, and he's like, I already closed him out. Like, he already paid. And I was like, great. I walk up. This man is standing at the front. Have you ever played Grand Theft Auto?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, have you ever played Grand Theft Auto Vice City?
Ooh, no.
Okay, well, this is cousin Sergio from Grand Theft Auto Vice City. This is this man standing in front of me. He is wearing a newspaper print shirt, unbuttoned more than halfway.
Oh,
He
shit.
has multiple chain necklaces hanging down his fairly hairy chest, and he's not in the greatest shape. And he is just all
Age-wise, what are we
like,
talking about? 50s,
45.
60s?
No,
Okay.
like 40 to 45.
Okay.
But he is all vibe. Like, he is ready to hit the nightclubs in Miami any second from now.
I love that for him.
Yeah, here in Southern California. And so he gets his order, and I'm just giggling away because, yeah, everything about that man was a Sergio. Like, thanks, Serge. It was nice to see you.
So funny.
To which, later on, about 15 minutes later, we get a call back from Serge. Oh, Serge is a little unhappy.
Oh, shit, what happened?
So apparently there was only one clam in his clam chowder, and he's very disappointed.
How did he count them? What the fuck is he on about?
Apparently. To which I looked at our kitchen manager and our server manager, and I go, well, it's called clam chowder. It's not called clams chowder. So
Shut up.
I'm all, ooh, he only ordered the clam, just the one. And so our kitchen manager's like, yeah, I purposely put just one in there. Like, I selectively took one and put it in there. And, like, sure, that happens. Sometimes you get the fish chowder right, and there's not a lot of fish in it, actually.
Yeah.
Like, we're not always, like, you know, like, identifying the perfect scoop for each thing or whatever.
Yeah.
So, either way, we uncharged him, and then the manager worked it out, and then Serge left, and I'm assuming he had a wonderful night back at his apartment, probably alone. But he was very dressed up.
I love that. Nothing makes me more upset than not being able to find a parking spot. And
did you notice we were parked on the same row?
I did. That made me giggle. I was like, oh, she's right there.
When I backed up, I went, we could have walked together.
Absolutely. We separated so early, and I'm like, I think I'm around here. No, we were on the same fucking row. But no, nothing just makes me more upset than not being able to find a parking spot. Like, if I'm in a parking lot for more than 2 to 5 minutes and I haven't found a parking spot yet, I'm screaming. I'm so fucking pissed.
Welcome to the life of all of our guests. What are you talking about?
I know. And I hate our parking lot. That's, I forget sometimes why I don't park in there, and then I go to work and I see the parking lot, and I'm just like, what? Fuck it. And then I come over here where we are now, because this is like, easy, and there's always a spot here. But I just, something about like being in a parking lot, especially our parking lot, is the amount of like stop signs that don't make sense, and there's always accidents because people don't know what the fuck, like when they're supposed to stop and when they're not. People come up to an intersection and they're like, oh, I should probably stop, even though they have the right of way. So everyone else has stopped waiting for them to go, and then people are honking at them from back because they're like, have a stop sign. And so
I almost got hit on my way in.
Yeah, like, I hate our parking lot so much.
So it's just a 2-way stop, right? No, right. It's a 3-way stop, but there was nobody at the 3rd way. So it was just me and the oncoming car. Mm-hmm. And we both stop. I turn my left-hand blinker on to let them know that I am turning left. So go ahead and go. Right. So they go. I start turning left. The car behind them just starts driving at me. And I'm just like, what?
Why? Why would you do this?
What? Like, in whose world? This isn't a 2-car green. Like, what are you doing? Yeah. It's a stop sign. Stop. But they just saw the car ahead of them go and just started going. And they literally were scary. Like inches from my car.
Yeah, that's terrifying.
And I almost, because part of me is all like, I want to be petty, right? Mm-hmm. Part of me wanted to just slam on my brakes and stay there. Just
see what happens.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead, and let's prove what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah, wild.
So in the service industry, this happens fairly often. I think we've talked about it before, where you get, those like extra religious tables, and they want to leave you behind like either like a Bible snippet or the little pamphlets, or sometimes worse, the little fake money.
Yep.
So luckily for me, I did not get that. I got a decent tip on a table. Not 20%, but still a decent tip. I'm not arguing it.
Anything between 15 and 20, I'm never going to,
right.
I'm not going to complain.
This is like a solid 17%. I'm not complaining at all. But clipped onto my board was this little metal cross. And it says, Jesus is the way.
Weird.
Yeah. And it's like
they're just bringing trinkets along with
them. Right.
And
it's like, it's a charm, but there's no like loop or anything. So it doesn't like belong to a necklace or a bracelet. It's just like I don't know, like a worry stone or whatever, like something that you would keep in your pocket. Like, it's just a charm. I took a picture of it. Did I show you?
No. What a weird thing to just be dragging along with you to hand out to service professionals.
I took a picture of it. It's like a fairly decent sized, like,
it looks,
charm.
But you're right, it's not...
There's no loops, there's no holes or anything.
To indicate that it's a part of, like, any piece of jewelry or anything like that,
right.
Yeah.
So, jokingly, I handed it to one of our other servers.
Mm-hmm.
I just held my hand out, because honestly, the amount of times that I can just hold my hand out to somebody and they're going to take what's in it it's my favorite thing to do. It's usually trash. But
I do that to Gorgeous a lot, and she stopped taking things from me because I kept just handing her my trash. Quick.
Yeah. I did it to Magic the Gathering. I just held my hand out. I said, "Hey." And he goes, "Yeah, what's up?" And then he holds his palm open, and I drop it in. And he goes, "Great." And I was like, "Yeah, well, that was included with my tip on the board." He's all, "Why?" I was like, "I don't know." But Jesus Christ is Lord. So I was aware. I just don't care.
I'm gonna let you in on a little secret.
Thanks. A fun little.
What's one of your like favorite gifts from a guest that you've gotten?
I had a table at Black Angus that would come in often, right, like a family, and they wouldn't always sit with me. They would just sit with whoever that they sat with. But every single time, they would tip you on their check, and they would also leave you a $10 Starbucks gift card.
Oh, that's cool.
Every single time. And fantastic. I'm going to use that. Like 100%. I'm going to use that. I love that. Thank you so much. I also like little notes from kids.
Yeah.
Like, or pictures. Like if the kids like draw on the kids menu or whatever and leave it behind. I have multiple of those in my server book. Like I hang on to those. Yeah. I've even like cut out stuff that kids have colored and I stick it because they sign it, And I'm just like, that's adorable. If you ever come in again, I want to be like, yo, remember when you did this?
Yeah.
To which I've never seen them again, or if I did, it was a year later and I don't recognize that child anymore, which I shouldn't.
That'd be fucking weird if you did.
Be weird if I did. If I'm like, Jessica, oh my god.
She's like, what? She turned into a mean girl. All of a sudden she was like, oh.
I don't know you.
No, I was going to say, I think one of my like top two for me is I had this table sit down and the little boy was really chatty. It was a family, right? The little boy was really chatty, but the little girl was just like very shy. Like she didn't want to talk to me. But then the parents were like kind of making fun of her a little bit. And, I would walk up to the table and her mom would be like, she just says that you just look really cool. Like she loves your hair and she loves your tattoos and she just thinks that you're really cool. And so they're like kind of teasing her, but telling me what she's saying about me, which was like all positive, cute stuff, right? So I was like, oh, I was like, no, I think you're cool. I like your bangs. And so I'm like trying to, pipe her up as well, the little girl. And at the very end of their meal, the parents are like, she has something for you. And in our kids menu, there's a whole page that says like, draw a picture, you're deserted on an island, like draw a picture of what that looks like or whatever. And she drew a picture and it had like it had her mom and dad, and it labeled like mom, dad, and then her name and her brother's name. And then there was like another girl on the picture and she wrote my name above it. And I was like, stop it. It was so cute.
Keeping that forever. This is going on my fridge with my son's work. What are you talking about?
I still have it in my car. Like I thought that was the cutest fucking thing I'd ever seen. She was probably 7 to 8, right?
Fantastic.
And I was just like, this is adorable. I love this. And then another little girl had almost like a Polaroid camera.
Oh, yeah. The one that prints on like the receipt paper or whatever.
Yes, but it also put like filters on it. Like those like Snapchat filters.
Yeah,
almost.
And it does like borders and everything.
Yeah, so she was like taking pictures of a bunch of stuff in the restaurant, and then I'm talking to her mom about like, what can I get you to drink, and I notice that she has the camera on me, so I give a little pose because obviously, right?
Yeah, of course.
Like, I'm gonna pose for that picture, and I, little tongue out, like, right, super cute. And then it prints out, and she hands it to me, and I was like, and it had a little bow in the hair,
oh,
like the filter
cute.
was like a little bow in the hair and stuff, and I was just like, this is adorable. It's just this little black and white picture of me that I have in my server.
Fantastic. Yeah, I'm keeping that for forever. I had a little girl. So Dad came out to eat. It was just him and his daughter, and she must have been 3, right? And she was chatting it up with him, but didn't really want to say anything to me, which is fair. I'm 100%, we've talked about this before, like, I'm that server, like, don't make your kid order if they don't want to order.
Yeah,
you know?
please.
Like, and he didn't. He ordered everything for her. Like I said, she's 3, maybe 4. Not any older than that. And at the end, I put the check down in front of him, to which she grabs it. She goes, I pay. And I went, yeah, you're paying for your dad? Absolutely. What you got? And she hands me 2 Chuck E. Cheese coins.
Oh my God, that's so cute.
And sets them directly on the check presenter. And I was like, thank you so much. You guys are all set. Have a wonderful night, right? As her dad, like, slips me the credit card.
Of course.
And so I take it, and then I bring it back, and I go to hand him the coins, and he goes, she needs you to have those.
Oh,
Please don't hand those back. She absolutely thinks that she has paid. I don't want them. Please keep those. And I was like, yeah, they're in my server book right now, and every time that I have to give change to the office, they fall out of my server book because they're in with all my change.
Yeah.
So I have 2 Chuck E. Cheese coins that just, like, cascade out of my change pocket every time I'm counting change for the office. And I think about that interaction every single time. And I'm just like, I pay, and she hands me 2. Just 2
tokens.
Yeah, 2
literally worth nothing.
brass tokens. And I'm just like, hell yeah. Like, these are mine now, and they will forever be mine, and I love them.
That is so cute. I love that so much. We have that regular that comes in and brings fruit and vegetables from his garden all the time.
Yeah, that guy with the tomatoes.
Yeah, he drinks a little Belvedere, Gimlet. He's a huge fan.
Extra sweet, yep.
Extra sweet, but
I love him. I don't think he's a problem. Sometimes he talks too much. That's really the thing.
Yeah.
He lingers for, like, a long time on conversations, so it can be kind of difficult to, like, work around other tables. But otherwise, he's an absolute piece.
Yeah,
like,
I
have no issues with him whatsoever.
The first time I ever took care of them, he, like, his family orders and he orders, and then he says something about, like, or I'm not the problem, or I'll stop now, and I looked at him and I was like, sir, I clocked you as the problem the minute you sat down, and ever since then, every single time he sees me, he waves at me and he goes, hey, cat, how you doing, and he always, like it's so funny, he always has his vegetables in, like, a grocery bag next to him, and the servers that he likes, he'll be like, hey, psst. Like,
yeah, he calls me over to get his little macadamia nut chocolates or whatever he has brought with him for the day. He's like, hey, Bunny, come over here.
But
I got this for you.
He, like, slowly opens it still while it's sitting in the booth next to him, so you take a peek. So it's like a little drug deal happening at the booth, but it's just tomatoes from his garden, which are always great, actually.
They're delicious tomatoes.
So good.
So there was one night we were slammed. Like, it was a crazy night. And he came in and he sat with our newest server, post busboy, right? Post host, right? And so it
Mr.
was
Arrogant.
Yes, super white boy arrogant. So it was probably his second night on the floor. And he gets him. And so, like, I walk by, I say the same thing to this old man every time I see him. I look at him and I go, we haven't kicked you out yet? And he goes, you still work here? And I was like, you haven't got me fired yet? And he's like, I'm trying. And that's the conversation we have every single time. Like, every single time. I look at him and I go, God, they let you in again? And, like, his son, and then he's got a sister that comes with him all the time, right? Sometimes his son comes, and his son thinks it's hilarious every time. Like, and his son's, like, 30, right? And he's, like, almost our age. But, like, they always, like, they get a kick out of it so much. But I just look at him and I go, why, we don't stop you at the door? Like, why do you keep coming in here? And so that's, even if he's not my table, like, I'm going to stop by and say something.
Always say hi to them when I see them, yeah.
So, new arrogant server got him, right? And of course, the table goes smoothly. Like, the guy's nice. He never causes any problems.
Never.
He doesn't make a fuss about anything.
Even if something's, like, slightly wrong, he'll just be like, hey, can you bring me this so that I can fix it? You know what I mean? Like, he doesn't want you to take anything back. He's just very much
he's
like,
very, just super calm, super easy. And everybody that he brings in with him is always nice, too. Like, I've never had issue with him or his family or any extension of him. But so, arrogant server walks past me at one point, and he's holding a bag of those, those caramel-filled, they're not Godiva, but the Ghirardelli or whatever chocolates, right? The chocolate squares.
Yeah.
Like the minis, right? And so he's holding a bag of those mini chocolate squares, and he looks at me and he says, do you want some of these? And I said, hell yeah, I do. It's been a fucking night. Like, we got rocked that night. Like, I remember, like, I was sweating, like, it was a whole thing. And so I saw him on the break table all night long, and I was like, I'm gonna go get one of those. Like, I'm so excited, right? Mm-hmm. And so I walk up, I've finally slowed down. I'm, like, working my way through my side work. I'm closing. And so I walk over, and I grab the bag, and I pop it open, and there are 3 motherfucking tomatoes in this bag. Oh, no. And I go, and I grab him, and I go, arrogant server, what the fuck is this? And he's like, what? And I was like, you asked me if I wanted some of these. I thought it was chocolates. You held me a little, there's like a little baggie.
Yeah.
And it was like it looked like it was still sealed in his hand. So I didn't understand that there would possibly be something else in there. And he's like, oh no, it's tomatoes from that guy. I thought you knew that. I go, why would I know that?
No.
I've been looking forward to this little sweet treat for my entire fucking shift. And I open this bag to 3, not even like a handful or 10 or anything, but 3 cherry tomatoes from this man's garden. Are they delicious? Yes, they are. Are they a sweet treat? No, the fuck they aren't.
If I expected chocolate and I got tomatoes, I'm devastated.
I'm pissed. I'm absolutely pissed.
I don't care how good the tomatoes are. You're never going to make up for this.
So it's at the end of the night, like, it's time to go. Everybody's leaving. The server's leaving too. I said, hey, go pick up your bag of shit off the fucking break table, too. So I was so disappointed. I was like, I thought to myself, oh, I'm going to have 2 of those little mini wrapped chocolates, right, with the caramel, because they were like the sea salt caramel ones, is what the bag said. But yeah, so apparently he didn't bring a grocery bag with him that day. He brought that bag. That's what he brought them in. And I was like, is it April Fool's?
That's devastating.
Are you joking me?
This is going to ruin the concert.
I had this table the other day, and I've never been so unsure about myself in my job before.
As a server?
As a server. Like,
Holy
I am
shit.
so unsure as to what's happening, like, as it's going on. So a man and a woman sit down, and this man looks at me, and the first thing he says, I'm there to get their drink order. That's all I want. I'm just like, hey, are you ready to get something to drink? Because they've been there for a couple of minutes. It's not a big deal. They weren't waiting very long. And so I greet them, and I was like, hey, can I start you guys off with something to drink? And he goes, I'm a vegetarian.
Good for you.
Great. Welcome.
You're at a place that mainly serves
seafood.
Different types of meat, yeah.
Sure,
like,
but also we have plenty of, like, we've got salads, we've got other shit. Like, we can make this happen.
I guess vegetarian's a lot more easy
it's
to
not
deal with
vegan.
than vegan.
Yeah, it's not vegan.
That's
he
true.
just says, I'm a vegetarian. And I said, awesome. Can I get you something to drink?
Yeah, that's weird.
To which he says, no.
Oh.
And I go, great.
Okay.
And then he goes, but we're ready to order. Well, we have to be quick. We have to be quick.
No, you're not talking to me like that.
Yeah, and he's already snapping his fingers, and I'm like, great, I am stoked to serve you. I can't wait. The woman he was with was still checking over her menu. Like, she didn't seem like she was as ready as he was. So I said, okay, sir, what can I get for you? And he says, I want just vegetables. I go, okay. And I'm ready to list our vegetables. Like, you want a plate? Like, I don't have to serve them on sides separately. I can put a bunch of veggies on a plate if that's how you want it.
Right.
I've had that happen before.
Yeah.
You know, like, that's not outside of the box.
Mm-hmm.
I got you. What do you want? To which he says, I just want vegetables. Just cucumber and avocado only. And I said, I'm sorry? And he's like, cucumber and avocado, only vegetables. And I'm like, sir, do you want a plate of just cucumbers and avocado? He goes, yeah. I said, yeah? I'm so confused. Like, first of all, if I'm thinking I want a plate of vegetables, avocado's probably not on that list. Like, yes, avocado's a vegetable, and I understand that.
No, but I'm thinking, like, I'm looking at the
spinach,
sides.
Zucchini, Brussels sprouts. Like, I'm thinking you want a plate of our cooked vegetables.
Yes.
And also cucumber, like, okay, so you just want a couple slices of cucumber? Like, how much cucumber?
Also, do you want
me to
salad?
cut a whole?
Like, what the fuck?
You want me to cut a whole cucumber for you?
Sometimes you just need to eat a whole cucumber.
And sometimes you do. It's okay. And here's how you do it.
Do that at home.
Make sure you have one of those shaking cups, though. Like, the little 16-ounce whatever cup.
No, he uses the 32-ounce. Come on.
He does. Sorry. My bad.
Don't slander Logan's name in this household.
So sorry. I've made multiple of his cucumber recipes.
So have I. They're so good.
So, I look at him and I'm like, okay, so you want just cucumber and just avocado? And he mumbles, yeah, and lettuce. To which I look at him and I say, so you want a salad? What
the heck?
You want a salad? And he goes, yeah, no dressing, just cucumber, just avocado. And I'm like, gotcha. I'm going to ring in our house salad, just cucumber, just avocado, no dressing. Heard. I think.
I would have been,
I think.
Yeah, at that point, I would have been like, okay, so what kind of lettuce do you want?
Like, at this point, I'm done talking to this man. So I move over to the woman, to which she orders an entire regular meal. Like a regular entree with two sides, and no questions, no qualms, no issues whatsoever. So then I double back to him, because I'm so unsure. Mm-hmm. Like, we have spoken now for too many minutes, and I still don't know for sure what this man fucking wants.
Right.
And I said, so you want a house salad with cucumber and avocado only? And he says, not yes or no. He says, I've been here before and it's never been a problem. You've never served me, though. I said, I haven't.
That's not what I'm asking you.
I said, I definitely haven't. And he goes, I get it every time. And I go, okay. And he goes, you're great, though. I went, awesome. I'm glad I'm nailing this.
Shut up.
Stoked to be nailing this interaction I'm stressed about. So I go to the terminal and I ring in what I fucking think he wants.
I just hope for the best.
And, and now I'm just like, I don't even care anymore. I can only
you're giving it to God.
Yeah, this has been given to God. It's in his hands now. May the Lord bless you with the meal you want. I don't know.
Take the wheel. I can't fucking do this.
I can't do it anymore. So then I get busy after this. And so I'm in the back and I'm getting drinks for a party of 10 that I have. And so I'm loading up this drink tray with all these drinks. And the kitchen manager comes up to me and he goes, hey, Bunny, can I talk to you about this table? And he goes, he just wants cucumber and avocado. And I go, I don't know.
Don't ask me.
I don't know, man. I don't know. And he's like, what's going on? And I was like, no. So I just stopped. That table of 10 is waiting for their drinks now because I need to tell this entire story to our kitchen manager and our newest manager because he's now standing there too. And I'm like, I don't know. This is what he told me. And then somewhere in there, he said the word lettuce. I'm pretty sure, but there might be a hot chance that this man just wants avocado and cucumber. And he's calling that fucking veggies on a plate. I don't know what you want from me. Don't put any dressing on it, though, because I definitely clocked that. And, kitchen manager's just like, okay. And I was all, good luck. And I go and I deal with my party of 10 and their food goes down because didn't take that long to prepare that salad.
Right.
And their food goes down and I walk up and I go, hey guys, how's everything going? And he goes, it's fantastic. See, so perfect. You did it. And so perfect. You're so great. And I'm just like,
I'm punching somebody.
And also I'm just like, do you understand the duress that you have caused me today, sir?
Duress.
Like, I have been on pins and needles with you since the moment you said, I'm vegetarian. Great. I'm Bunny.
That's nice to meet you.
How can we progress
What
this?
a weird thing to drink. I've never heard of that drink before.
Right.
I'll have to ask my bartender if they've ever heard of that.
For the entire meal, did not drink anything. He's such a vegetarian that he, in fact, drinks vegetables, I guess.
He got all of his water intake from his fucking avocados and cucumbers.
And then I print the check because, remember, he said they're in a hurry.
Right.
So I had that check ready in hand the moment that I rang in that food. So I set the check down, and he's like, thank you so much. It's so great. Can't wait to see you next time. And I walked up to the host, and I said, this is our male host that we love, fabulous host, right? Mm-hmm. Love him so dearly. I looked at him and I said, if you ever seat me with that table again, I swear to God.
Put a note in his file
that says, do not seat with Buddy. Please. Please. Shit. I was, like I said, I've definitely misheard people before, and I've definitely had people say some shit that makes me go, I'm sorry, what? Right? But never have I had to re-ask a man 4 times.
What he meant.
You want just... Because I promise you, in all of that opening spiel, he never said the word salad. He did not. He said veggies, and he said cucumber, and he said avocado. That's all I got. And so I'm like racking my brain. I'm like, do I throw spinach on there? Like, does spinach belong on this plate? Like, veggies and? Like, because we don't have a mixed veggie option, right? And a lot of people think we do, and we don't have that. So I'm trying to explain to him what veggies we have, to which he cuts me off with the only 2 vegetables in the whole fucking restaurant. Like... that are served cold, and that's the only way that we have them. So anyways, that was a lot of fun.
I love that.
But I nailed it, so...
Well, good for you. I'm proud of you.
You were there that night when I had that man at my table who refused to talk to me unless my hands were full.
Oh, yeah. That was so good.
I mean, like, at first I was like, that's not what's happening, And then I walked past his table with 5 plates, like 5 stacked heavy plates. Yeah. To which he flags me down to let me know that they need more drinks. And I'm like, okay, I gotcha. And so I go and I ring in the more drinks, and I come back with empty hands because the drinks have already been delivered. And I go, hey guys, is there anything else I can figure? And he's like, no.
It's so offended.
Why are you looking at me? And then the next time I pass by with like mountains of plates, like I can't possibly, like there's nothing else I should be doing right now but to be getting rid of these plates. And he flags me down again. He's like, can we get a dessert menu? I'm like, yeah, man. Yeah. So I go and I just drop all the fucking plates on the side and I grab the dessert menu. I hand it to him. He doesn't want to talk to me. The only moments in which he wanted to speak to me are as if both of my hands were full. Not just one. If I was carrying a tray with 2 drinks, this guy doesn't want to fucking talk to me. Nuh-uh. Well, you have 17 plates? Actually, miss. I see you're as busy as you've been all night. Please come here. In this moment, that
made me laugh so much when that kept happening, because then I remember watching you walk by with a plate full of a handful of plates, and I see him waving you down, and I'm just giggling. Like, I was like, yep.
Because it was a joke at first. It was very much a joke at first. I was like, this guy only wants to talk to me. My hands are full. Ha ha ha. And then he continuously only spoke words to me when my hands were full. Like, he wanted me to take his order when my hands were full.
Yeah.
And there's 5 people at this table, sir. Like, I
have
can't
to write down.
I can't confidently take all of your modifications and sides with my hands full, because the first thing I have to do is go get rid of these plates. So I might forget something. Like, please, one moment, please. And he's like, well, we need more drinks. Okay, got it. But as soon as my hands are empty, hey guys, do you need anything? Ew, why are you speaking?
The gall and the gumption.
Where does she get off? Trying to efficiently do her job. When you left on Veterans Day, right? We had a party of 8 set to come in at 8:15.
Yeah, I remember that.
We closed at 9 o'clock. So that was but they were a confirmed party of 8. Oh no, 10. Sorry, it's party of 10. It's confirmed party of 10. So we're all kind of planning on them being there. The restaurant was dead. We had 1 table in the restaurant at 8:15. And so we're all waiting. The kitchen's waiting. Like, everybody's at this weird standstill.
Trying not to start closing down because you know the party's coming in. I
can't do any of my absolute closing side work because I can't get rid of any sauces. I can't wrap anything. You know, I got to make sure we have bread ready to go for this party of 10. And then it hits 8:30. And they're still not here.
No party.
And then it hits 8:40 and there's no party.
Oh my god.
And then it hits 8:45 and we're like, okay, well now you're 30 minutes past your reservation time. So, like, in standard for our company, 30 minutes past your reservation, we don't hold your reservation anymore.
No, but we are still open, so.
We are very much still open and we are empty. So, realistically, had they walked in between 8:45 and 9 o'clock, they would have gotten that table.
Did they not walk in?
They did not come in. So they never showed, which is fine. Because at 8:45, I'm breaking everything down.
Right, but
the entire place is being shut down. But you have confirmed a party of 10 for 8:15, and you're just not going to show it all, no call, no anything else.
That's wild.
But sure, like, we're all stoked about it, right? Like, from host to manager to us in the back, we're like, okay, great, it's an early night for us. Especially with how the night already was.
Yeah, Veterans Day is fucking rough on everybody.
But I joked with my manager, I was like, I really wanted them to come in at 8:50. I wanted them to, just so I could look at them and go, ooh, you missed your reservation window, and we actually canceled that reservation for you. To which, of course, we would obviously still seat them, but I really, like, because of all the fucking bullshit that I dealt with, and how I like, you know, I'm professional, I keep it professional at all times, so I will never say anything to the guests that is not professional.
But every once in a while you can daydream about saying something to
God, I really wish I could have looked at that party and been like, ooh,
we canceled your reservation because you're half an hour late, sweetie.
You're over half an hour late, and we actually close right now.
So.
But yeah, I mean, the parking lot was empty. So I just kept walking out to check the parking area. And I'm like, are there 5 new cars?
Good point. It, like, looking out for the cars.
Because it's completely empty except for the people whose cars I know, mine
who
included.
Work here,
So I'm like, no headlights, no anything else. I was like, guys, I think we're in the clear. But, you know, you never say that.
Yeah, because then you just jinx yourself.
You can never say it in the restaurant world. Anything that you want to happen. But yeah, I could not.
Well, you ready to get out of here?
Yeah, let's check out.
Heck yeah. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to Rolling Silverware Podcast. If you are enjoying the post-shift shit talk, please feel free to rate it. Tune back in next week for our shift shenanigans.